MMA.
MMA, yes. What does it stand for?
Fights? Yes. Oh, sorry. I was sorry. I think there was a delay. Audio delay. Sorry.
Mixed martial
Tonight
arts.
of all nights. There we go.
Mixed martial arts. Mixed
MMA.
martial arts. You're hyped.
MMA.
Hyped.
I am hyped. I think we're all hyped because we are 43 minutes and change away from UFC 268 going down at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. What a card it's going to be, top to bottom. We got 2 title fights. We got Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. We got bangers on the main card. We got bangers on the prelims. And you know it's a special occasion. Let's get that one shot on me, Casey. Get the one shot on me. Get the one shot on me.
Gotta get the one shot. Hold on.
Gotta get the one shot. I got the Fedor sweater on.
Oh.
I haven't worn the Fedor sweater since the 50th episode of Between the Links when we did the Gauntlet episode. So if I'm wearing the Fedor sweater, it's a big night and big things are going to happen. So I only break this bad boy out like 2 or 3 times a year. So I am excited. UFC 268 about to kick off. What a card it's going to be. I am Mike Heck. It's the People's Pre-Fight Show. Get those questions, your thoughts on the card in the chat, and we will address them momentarily. Casey's dancing. We'll introduce him in a moment, but looking just stoic right now. After a victory on Between the Links, hopefully he remembers us little people as he moves on to the semifinals, Mr. Alex K. Lee. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm still high off my win. Definitely my BTL win. Damon Martin, an incredible opponent, made me step up my game. I'm very afraid of both Jose Youngs and Phoenix Carnivale, but I welcome the challenge. I full disclosure, before we get into the Q&A, I will be doing a lot of Canelo plant coverage tonight, so people forgive me if I'm happy to talk 268, but I may not be joining all of you lovely viewers and listeners on watching the show.
That's okay. You'll just have to wake up early and watch it and prepare yourself for on to the next one tomorrow. That's
You're
all.
darn right. You're darn right.
You're darn tootin'. And we got E. Casey Lyden, the dancing fool, ready to fire off some hot takes per usual. How are you doing, Casey?
Doing wonderful. Just took my pre-fight nap. Woke up this morning early, took my pre-fight nap, and now ready to go. Ready to see some government-sanctioned cage fighting.
That's right, and what a government sanction they are in New York. So we could be up for some interesting things. This is not Texas, so I'm not really expecting any outrageous decisions, but could have some crazy stoppages that seems to happen from time to time in MSG. So let's get right to the peeps. This is your show. Let's talk UFC 268.
First question. It's more of a comment.
Happy birthday, AK.
Oh, thank you. Again, it's not my birthday. It's never my birthday, but thank you, Francisco Flores, for the birthday wishes.
Okay, sorry, Francisco. Jeez.
I appreciate it anyway.
It was your birthday on BTL.
Sometime it was. Yeah.
Was that fake news?
I mean, everyone has a birthday.
Are you taking someone else's gimmick now, Heck?
No. I mean, people think you got the win because of your birthday. I don't think that's true at all. I thought you brought
even if it is, I'm happy for it.
Damn right. The timing is everything.
Happy birthday.
Exactly.
All right, here we go.
Ooh, who wins knockout of the night? I mean, technically we don't really have that award, but for the sake of the question, who has the best knockout of the night? Which knockout are we going to be talking about for the next several days? Casey.
Kamaru Usman knocking out Colby Covington in the second round.
Whoa. AK, I feel like this is an easy answer. What do you think?
Well, I think it might. I know what you're going to say. I'm going to go a different way with it. I think I did say during the weigh-ins that I thought the performance bonuses would go to Usman and the guy who I think might win KO of the night. I think it'll be like a fast one. I'll go Iangary. I think Iangary. I think they really want to push him, and I think if he gets a good to great knockout, that's the one we'll all be talking about, and he'll get a performance bonus as well.
Okay, so I wasn't sure when I was going to release this pick out into the ether and have you people that are watching right now just crush me. But I'm just going to go ahead and do it now because this will end up being the answer because it's going to be the most shocking result of the night in a lot of people's eyes just based on everything that I've seen, okay? Alex Pereira seems to be the easy answer. He's going to go out there and deliver some damage. But the answer to this question, in my mind, after overthinking the hell out of this thing, Iron Michael Chandler will have the knockout of the night.
My G.
first round shocker of a knockout. I thought about it. I went back and watched fights last night. I stayed up late. I watched all the media scrums. I watched all the interviews, and I've watched everybody's take on this fight. And everybody's take on this fight is exactly the same. There is no differing opinion. Everyone is viewing this fight through the same lens. Justin Gaethje's going to go out there and roll this dude. I don't like the things Justin Gaethje's saying. I don't like him looking towards the title. I don't like him saying things like, if I don't get the title shot after I beat this guy, we riot. I don't like that. It frightens me a little bit if I'm a Gaethje fan. And let's be clear, Gaethje gets rocked in pretty much every fight he's in. And Michael Chandler's a first-round fighter. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen then. So I am willing, because I think Chandler, right now at plus 175, I think this fight is closer than people think it's going to be. If it gets out of the first round, I think it's Gaethje's fight to win. But for Chandler to win, he's got to do it early. And I think he's got a good chance to do it. I think he's got a real good chance to do it in the first round. I think Chandler is playing with house money tonight. He doesn't have a lot to lose here. Ooh. And I think all the pressure is on Justin Gaethje. Every bit of pressure is on Justin Gaethje tonight to go out there and deliver the hype that everyone is bestowing upon him. So with all that said, after hours and hours of overthinking this, I'm going with Michael Chandler to knock out Justin Gaethje in the first round.
In the first round.
Wait, why do you think this?
Why do you think Michael Chandler's a first-round fighter? Why are we thinking that? Are we forgetting? Is the Eddie Alvarez version of Michael Chandler? Those two just amazing fights. Is that like an old Chandler? Does that Chandler not exist anymore?
I don't know. We haven't seen it in a while. We haven't really seen it in a while. All of his fight, from the Benson-Henderson fight. I mean, yeah, we saw it in the Brent Primus fight a little bit, but the fighter we've seen the last 3 fights has been, and I'm not saying Chandler can't fight out of the first round, but his best chance to win this fight is definitely in the first round. If he's going to catch Gaethje, he's got to do it early. Gaethje's going to get stronger as the fight goes on. His leg kick game, all these tools that he's going to bring to the table, all those tools that people think are going to win him this fight, it's going to happen later. Chandler's got the best shot to land just a big shot, a collision of a shot. I feel like Chandler's being overlooked here. I think he can do it. I'm not confident in what I'm saying right now, but I've seen enough to think that there is some value on Michael Chandler tonight that nobody's really seeing. I think this line should be a little bit closer. I think Gaethje is the rightful favorite, and I think if this gets out of the first 6 minutes of the fight, I think Gaethje will win. That first round is going to be really interesting. I think it's a 50-50 round.
See, I'm actually the opposite way. I think the longer the fight goes, the stronger Chandler, the better it would be for Chandler. I'm going the other way on that, but we'll see. Well, we will see. I'll put another question. Try to find the betting line for a first round KO for Chandler. I bet that's pretty high.
I bet it's not that hard.
I'm blown away right now. I am blown away.
Chandler wins. She is pretty high. Chandler wins in round 1 is plus 650. Let's see. Let me see if there's like an actual number on that.
I'm throwing up a poll, by the way, in the comments. Who wins? I'm saying who wins?
Chandler wins by KO, TKO in round 1, plus 750.
Plus 750.
What is it for Gaethje? Do you have it right there for Gaethje? The win in the first round? Like by KO?
Gaethje, plus 220.
Okay.
Some people are still a bit of a long, not a long shot, but unlikely it ends in the first. Are you going to tweet that? Are you going to tweet that take, Mike? Are you going to tweet that, or do I have to tweet it for you?
I don't need it. I don't need to tweet it.
Pull that clip.
I'm going to tweet it right now. No, I'm going to tweet it. Tell people to tune into the show for this kind of. I didn't know this is going to be this kind of show. I'm doing it right now.
Hey, listen, I'm taking a flyer. It's hard to say you're taking a flyer on a fighter as talented as Michael Chandler, but I think there's enough evidence to make me feel like this, at least those first 5 minutes, are going to be closer than people think. I don't know. I think there's a part of me that thinks Gaethje's looking past him. That's looking ahead, looking too far ahead to the title. And Chandler's just like, I'm ready to fight this dude. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to create a highlight. I'm ready to have a fist fight with the craziest man in the sport. Like, I feel like he's all in on this fight. This is Chandler's Super Bowl. This is the fight he's wanted since he got into the UFC. Gaethje, to me, feels like Chandler's just a guy he's got to get out of the way to get to the belt. That's the way he's kind of approaching this fight.
Fighting for the title in the main event wasn't his Super Bowl?
I think this fight right now, based on his career, I think he's more amped for this fight than the title fight. I do.
All right. Okay.
Chandler's not here for a long time, Casey. He's here for a good time.
Becky's on fire.
Write that down. That's good. That's
I'm
good.
probably-
tweeting this.
That's a good
I'm
thing.
tweeting
He
it.
said
I'm
it.
tweeting
That's
it.
it. That's him
I just
saying
tweeted
it. He
it.
says that all the time.
I just
See
tweeted
at the
it.
top
You've
if
been
it
tagged.
happens.
Well,
You've
okay.
been
Oh,
tagged.
God.
Well, we know the answer to this next question. Oh, that's a big no.
I have him going 1 for 3 tonight in my picks.
Ooh. Me too, actually.
Again, not confident.
No.
Not confident in any of them. Any of them. I'm not confident.
I'm going 2 for 3 tonight. 2 for 3.
I went pretty chalky here, so yeah, I guess I'm going 2 for 3. KT Rose, Usman. Yeah, I'm going. Very boring picks for me. Very boring picks for me. Betting favorites, and I'm just going that way. So yes, Stolen Youth with the lovely. It looks like an alien urinating on the planet Earth. Profile pic.
Who took that? Who took that photo of the avatar though? What alien had
I'd love to know who took
wide
that
enough
photo.
lens to take that photo of another alien urinating on our wonderful planet Earth? That's
So I'm saying 3 for 3. Casey, you said 2 for 3.
going 2 for 3.
2 for 3, and Mike, you're saying 1 for 3.
I'm saying Usman retains, and even that was a hard pick for me. I think that fight's gonna be really, really good. I don't think it's gonna be a stand up. Yeah, I don't think it's.
Wow,
gonna be
we're in
25
opposite
minutes.
ends on that one. I'm thinking one-way traffic. I'm thinking one-way traffic.
I'm not seeing it that way.
I'm thinking
Maybe
more.
not. Maybe Colby hasn't changed his game one bit since that first fight, but that's what makes it intriguing because we have no idea what we're going to see out of Colby Covington tonight. No clue.
I think we do. I don't think we're going to see K1 Colby tonight. I think we have a slight idea.
We'll see. We'll see. 2 years at Masters, you got to learn something.
On our YouTube poll, after just 3 minutes of voting, 67% saying Gaethje over Chandler. I'll put up a new poll every in a bit for the co-main
Tapology has 78% for Gaethje.
So okay, so it's a little.
Sure.
I mean, it's similar.
I'm sure. Listen, anybody that I've talked about this fight has broken it down the same way as the previous person, the same exact way. Gaethje's going to eat up his legs and he's going to knock him out in round 1 or round 2. Not saying Chandler, they're not like completely counting Chandler out, but they're fully confident and they would put their money on Justin Gaethje. I have some doubts. At the end of the day, if you look at both fighters on paper, I think Justin Gaethje is the more complete fighter. I think he's the better fighter. But I don't know. I got some weird juju in the air. And I feel like New York kind of owes Michael Chandler one at the same time after the first Brent Primus fight.
Man, what a take. What a shot.
You're thinking the stool, right?
Oh, my God. That's so bad.
Michael Chandler had the most humiliating experience I've ever seen of a high-level prize fighter ever in mixed martial arts. And it happened at MSG. And oh, man. And it wasn't him actually losing the fight. It was what happened after the fight.
That's the stool. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Oh, man. All right.
I'm fired up for this card. I'm amped up. I'm firing off hot takes. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen in a lot of these fights.
No, it does feel like something wild. 1 or 2 wild things will happen, whether it be results or some sort of, controversy. This card is not going quietly into the night.
Nope. Post-fight show at 6 a.m. It's going down. Dana White's going to have an hour-long press conference tonight.
Oh, God.
All right, 30 minutes to go.
My hot take still all week has been last week's pay-per-view was better and will be better than this one.
Oh.
Last week's had better
card.
fights, better high-ranking fighters. Yeah, but we'll see. It's free.
We'll see.
All right. Wrong screen. Hold on.
Must win for Shabazian tonight. Are we willing? Are we ready to throw those 2 words? Must win at this fight, AK? Shabazian must win this fight?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we must win in the sense that he will get released from the UFC, or must win in terms of how we see him as a future title contender.
Not just that. Win? I also think for his confidence. I think, we always talk about, bringing people up the right way. I'll always wonder if you took a guy like Sage Northcutt and you fed him, he was given some pretty good. They gave him some very winnable fights, which I thought was smart. They gave him some showcase fights. I thought that was great. And then I felt like they bumped him up. Like guys like Brian Barberina, I thought were a little tough for him. Mickey Gall proved to be a tough fight. I think they bumped him up maybe a little too quickly. It's hard to say though because I know he looked so good coming in. But it's just I think age has to be taken into account. He was very young. Shabazian's only 23 years old. He'll be 24 soon. What was it? Oh, in a couple of weeks. So. It's certainly, look, he could lose 3 straight fights in the UFC. If they're good with the matchmaking, they can dial him back, or he ends up getting released goes to other organizations, picks up some wins, comes back to the UFC, much less likely comebacks have happened. So this is not a death sentence for his career if he loses to Nasruddin Imavov, who's a very good fighter. Casey, you've been saying
Dude,
you
I
don't even know
think he's the best
why they
middleweight
match
in
him
this
up.
card.
Yeah, why did they match them up, right?
I have no clue.
So it is tough. It's good because it means they see a lot of them, and it's bad because they are not. I mean, he's going from Derek Brunson and Jack Hermanson, 2 top 10 guys, to Imavov, who I think is a top 20 guy who could be a top 10 guy,
easy.
a future top 10 guy. So I really wish, we say this about a lot of fighters, the UFC would just dial things back. And isn't this what Contender Series is for? They couldn't have lined up some Contender Series guy who like barely scraped it, or someone who didn't even earn a contract, and tell them, well, we're using you now to quote unquote feed you to Shabazian. So I do think it is, Tristan, I do think it is a must win. It doesn't have to look good. It could be a split decision, but he needs this for his confidence. He needs this to kind of show the matchmakers, I am what you guys think I am. Otherwise, it's a long road to come back from a 3-fight losing streak, especially after having so much hype put behind you. So very tough situation the young man is in.
You think it's must win, Casey?
I think it's must win only in terms of for Shabazian's like brain damage, because he's just taken 2 vicious. His back-to-back losses there were beatings. I mean, he took beatings, and it's not must win in terms of his employment status. But I think if he loses tonight, and he's also Imavov he's a young guy too. He's only 18. He's only a year and a half older than Edmund. It's not like he's facing this vet. You know, he's still a prospect. But if Edmund loses this, I just don't think he'll have. I just don't see him being a title contender. I think he had a good run then, and then that's just who he is. I hate if I was Shabazian's team, I hate this matchup. I don't know why. And especially against a guy who I think is going to smoke him. But the fans are still picking Shabazian 60%. So the hype is still there for Shabazian. But let's see what happens.
But maybe that's why. Maybe they feel that there's more at stake for him than Imavov right now, which I get. I actually I don't have a huge issue with him going like the trajectory he was on. I have an issue with the Hermanson fight after the Brunson loss, for sure.
The Brunson fight
made
I had no
sense.
issue. The Brunson fight 100%. Made sense at the time. It made sense, for sure.
I mean, he went in there and starched Brad Tavares the last time they were at MSG. And Brad Tavares Israel Adesanya didn't starch Brad. I mean, he beat him, but he didn't starch him. He didn't knock him out like that. I mean, that was impressive. And Brad Tavares is a vet. He's been in some big wars with some tough guys, and Shabazian ran through him. Like, that was impressive. You got to give him – the Brunson fight made all the sense in the world. I wonder what would have happened. I still think I still would have picked Brunson to win that fight, but they were booked in March. Card got canceled because of the pandemic. Then they were booked again in April. Card got canceled due to the pandemic. And Shabazian was on a roll. Momentum was fully on his side. And then it was just months and months and months. And it was like it took 9 months for him to get back in there. So who knows if just all that time when you're on such a roll, fighting every 3-4 months and getting highlight reel wins and looking impressive in there, who knows how much that slowed him down. But I hated the Hermanson matchmaking. It was awful. I think it's a must win in the sense of the hype and the confidence. And if you are who the UFC has built you up to be, you have to beat Imavov tonight. And Imavov's a really good fighter. He's a fringe top 15 guy, but he's got to win this fight if he wants to. I mean, he's got a lot of work to do to come back. He's still young, still got a lot of time, but he's got to win or else he's in a hole and it's going to take a while to crawl out of it.
All right.
Is tonight Frankie's last fight, win or lose? I will just answer this first. Absolutely not. There's zero chance that happens.
No.
Zero.
No.
Frankie's fighting until he's 45.
Yeah.
We'll see. Frankie will fight at UFC 300.
And if for some reason, if he loses bad tonight and the UFC decides to release him, which they won't, Frankie will fight in another organization.
I think Frankie's going to win tonight, by the way. I picked Frankie to win.
I think me too.
Will it be the most thrilling win? Probably not.
Does it matter?
But
what does it matter? Dude,
no, I don't care.
Thrilling wins are overrated. Like I'm jumping back a bit. When you said the Tavares knockout by Shabazian, it goes like Izzy didn't even starch Tavares. My impression was I was much more impressed with the way Izzy just ragdolled Tavares for 25 minutes
Picked
straight
him apart.
over.
Picked him apart.
Yeah, over a quick knockout. I always take, as far as like my impression of a fighter, just a dominant decision over, getting lucky. I understand both are, important, but yeah, that's all.
I think it will be an exciting fight because you've got Marlon Vera trying to take his head off with just like haymakers for like 3 rounds. Every fight with Frankie now, frankly, is exciting because he's very successful. He was once, I thought he would never get knocked out. And obviously he's a bit older. He's taking a lot of damage and he's facing a lot of finishers. He could very easily be knocked out. So for me, it's like 15 tense minutes of him doing this dance and trying to win fights like that. So that to me is exciting.
He's getting knocked out when he faces the smaller guys, not the big guys.
Oh my God, I know.
I'll tell you what, man. Frankie's got to win that first round, though. You got to win that first round. That's the round you have to take from Marlon because Marlon doesn't win first rounds. Marlon gets better as the fight goes. You got to get out to a lead, and that second round is going to be super important. But that first round, you have to get out in front because if Marlon wins that first round, it could be a long night. If Pereira gets early KO, TKO highlight, how much does the UFC push him? Top 15 opponent? What do you think, AK? You think they'll throw him right into it with the top 15 guy?
They obviously want the Pereira Adesanya rematch. I shouldn't say rematch. Well, I guess it would be a rematch. I assume everyone in the comments knows, of course, Pereira is a former Glory champion. He's fought Adesanya twice in kickboxing. He's beaten him by decision. And the last time they fought, Adesanya was actually beating him, but then he knocked Adesanya's effing lights out. The clip has got.
You have to watch the fight to really understand that fight. The knockout was very. If you just watch 2 seconds of the fight, you go, "Whoa, Pereira destroyed him."
Oh, he killed him. Yeah, he killed him.
Yeah.
No, it was very competitive, and then Pereira got the crazy knockout, and that's all that most of us in the media and a lot of fans see and talk about. So obviously, they would like to see that rematch. I'm sure Adesanya would like to fight him again, but I do think they'll have to be a little bit careful. The path is very clear. I mean, there's not like it's Cannonier and Brunson, and then after that, I don't know who they're starving to see Adesanya fight. Till they really wanted, but he just hasn't put together the resume at 185. So Pereira's right there, but I think they would go if he gets a big highlight, they give him another opponent he can get a big highlight against, then top 15, then a top 10, top 5 guy, and then he gets the Adesanya rematch. So I know they want to rush it. It would take a lot of other things to fall in the middleweight division, and Adesanya really, really campaigning for it, I think, for that to happen. But I would say more likely if Pereira can actually have success in the UFC, early 2023.
I think the most important part about this is the placement on the card that the UFC gave Pereira. Outside of being the main event, outside of being the top 3 fights, this is the most important fight for the UFC as far as promotion-wise. They put this as the featured fight before the pay-per-view. That's literally more people are going to watch the Pereira fight than the main event. I mean, the actual pay-per-view. This is the most important fight as far as eyeballs. And this is the fight that UFC thinks is going to be, all right, I'm going to now pay $70 to watch that pay-per-view. So the UFC clearly has lots of confidence in Alex Pereira right now. And I do believe if he wins, they will, they might not give him the toughest opponent, top 15 opponent, but they're going to give him the most favorable matchups to quickly get a justified matchmaking reason to have him face Izzy.
Yeah, I'm with you. He won't. I don't think he gets top 15 guy. I think he'll get another like AK. I'm more on the AK side. I think they give him somebody he could style over in his next fight. Maybe give him a guy like a Tavares later on down the road. Maybe like 2 fights after that, and then you kind of see where he's at, and then you can kind of build from there. But once you get into the top 15, if he gets into the top 15, he rattles up 3 or 4 finishes and gets in that top 15. He only needs maybe another win, and he'll get a title shot.
Think about when Izzy came in. Izzy came in with a lot more hype. From the insiders. Izzy came with a lot more hype from the insiders when he came to the UFC. But he was put on an overseas fight on an early prelim. Alex Pereira is getting a featured fight on one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. So this is a big deal. The first fight in the UFC. This is a lot of UFC's putting a lot of pressure on Alex Pereira. So good. It's really interesting.
Big opportunity for Andreas Michailidis. Can he go out there and silence everybody? I mean, that'd be a crazy win.
That would be because I literally don't know who he is. I've seen him fight before, but he's one of those guys like, oh yeah, I have seen him fight. I just don't know very much about him. People's main event.
I mean, What could we say? What could we say? We're all thinking of this fight the exact same way. It's just gonna be utter chaos for good times or bad. It's just gonna be it's gonna be fun no matter what. And it's Volante's final fight, which is at MSG in New York. Very cool moment for him. Chris Barnett is always fun. They're just both fun guys. Like Volante just getting out of bed and walking on the scale at 260 plus was amazing. Like that just told the story. And Chris Barnett like running it, realizing after the ceremonial weigh-in that Halle Berry was on the stage, and his reaction to that was hilarious. Like these two guys are just fun. It's just gonna be a fun Jed Meshew kind of fight.
MMA is supposed to be fun. This is just the definition of it. I mean, we have one guy, again, Jean Volante, like I said, on his way out. Listen, never a top 20 light heavyweight or heavyweight, never in the talks for world health. And it doesn't matter. He's a guy, he came to scrap. He's very honest, a very outgoing guy as far as like his interviews and things like that. He gets to do it in New York, which is fantastic, well timed, and he gets to do it heavyweight. He didn't have to cut weight, which is hilarious. So one guy at the end of his career,
he didn't have to cut weight. He added weight.
I think he definitely added weight.
He not cut weight. Whatever that's over there, I'm putting in my belly.
And then you have Chris Barnett, who is a veteran. He's been around for a long time, but is kind of just starting, hopefully just starting his UFC career. I would love to see Chris Barnett in the UFC for the next like 3 or 4 years, just having fun fights, occasionally fighting top 10 guys. So win or lose, I hope they keep Huggy Bear around as well, because he's just such a great personality. He's a really exciting fighter. He's like one of those heavyweights that just, I don't know if I think I don't know if it's fair to say he doesn't have a game plan, but man, he goes in there and he tries stuff, and God bless him for it. So this is just really, this is a really feel good matchup. And even if someone gets knocked out, normally we don't feel good about it, but somehow you think we're going to walk away from this one with everyone smiling, even if it's Jean Volante or Chris Barnett after they wake up. But great fight.
Yeah. I just hope that they're tired and sweaty and just sloppy after like 30 seconds. I want this to be one of those fights when the 10-second clapper goes off, both guys just go, okay, I'm good. And they just turn around with 10 seconds left. Like we know. I'll see you in a couple minutes. I want one of those fights. Oh, I need
that extra 10. I need that extra 10.
Yeah,
I like it. It'll be fun. Just take it for what it is. It's gonna be fun. If you're going to the card, you better bring that energy. You're not gonna do that Bellator. You're not gonna match Bellator 270 crowd. You're not gonna match that Dublin crowd.
Dublin,
we gotta.
They already won the weekend. Dublin won the weekend already.
Yeah. What is the ceiling of Iangary, and does he get the finish? I don't know. Okay, what are your thoughts on Iangary?
It's high, man. It's high. I think there's reason to be skeptical. I think the most recent imports from Cage Warriors have not exactly blown the doors off. Paddy Pimblett, great debut, but again, you had guys like Reese McKee come.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, Reese McKee, Jai Herbert. Again, good fighters, but they've had it tough. And I'm not saying. I mean, Reese McKee's done now. Jai Herbert, he won his last fight. He just won, right?
Yeah,
I'm not crazy. That's the thing that happened.
He
right?
won.
So he might be on his way. He's trending upwards now, so it's good. But I mean, the whole thought that everyone who comes over, who came over from there was like, oh, could be the next McGregor or something like that is always a little overdone. I know Iangary now is the next guy getting that tag, and he's the future. He's undefeated, good-looking guy. I mean, if this is someone the UFC wants to push for sure. He looks like a prime athlete, but he's 7-0. He's 7-0. That's not a lot of experience. Cage Warriors, very good competition there. But once you get to the UFC, like we say, if they're not smart about how they matchmake you, man, they will break you fast. So hopefully they're smart about it.
And they are smart about it. I think this
matchup is, I think, is the right one.
Yeah.
If he smokes him, then they go like, oh, put him in there with a top 15 guy. And it's like, no, slow. I believe this guy, of course, when they can start traveling overseas again, man, you have him, main card of European cards, eventually main eventing fight nights. Really, the McGregor formula, unfortunately, for reasons beyond their control, they haven't been able to do over the last 18 months, 2 years. But that's the ceiling for this guy. I'm skeptical. I'm very skeptical. I think he gets the win tonight. I don't know if we're seeing like a world, title contender here. I honestly couldn't tell you.
I got a question. I hear a lot of hype about this guy. Why do you think the UFC they didn't put him as the kind of that featured fight on the prelim like they're doing Alex Pereira? I mean, I was actually kind of surprised. Iangary's kind of buried on this card.
He's the featured early prelim.
That's not a thing. You're making up words. You're just putting words together.
For
That's not a real thing.
For
Stop
people
it.
who still use UFC Fight Pass, for anyone who's still subscribed to UFC Fight Pass, we need in Canada, by the way. For anyone in the US who's still subscribed to UFC Fight Pass, he is your headlining act on the early prelims. So there's 2 prelim headliners.
Is Gary the biggest favorite in the card?
I would
imagine. Let me check real quick. I don't know.
Because in Tapology, if Jordan Williams wins, it will most likely be one of the biggest upsets ever. Right now, Gary is at 96%. People picking him 96%.
Iangary is the biggest favorite on the card.
Okay.
Okay.
Is he the biggest favorite? Nope, he's tied for the biggest favorite.
Okay, well, yeah.
According to DraftKings, minus 400. Melzik Bagdasarian also minus 400. Dustin Jacoby minus 380. So those are the 3 biggest favorites on the card.
Okay. Man, I've never seen that. I've never that. Oh yeah. Dustin Jacoby, 96% also. People on Tapology picking him.
Yeah.
Lot of seems like a lot of very
respect.
one-sided fights on this card
respect.
on paper.
Yeah, I think Ian has a very high ceiling. I think he's super talented. I think he has tremendous upside. I think Paddy Pimblett, obviously, his gift of gab kind of raises the stakes for him a little bit. Iangary's a very good personality as well. The guy can talk. He's apparently, according to Daniel Cormier earlier on Twitter, he invited DC to go play golf in New York today before the fight. So Iangary went out and played a round of golf, and he's going to go in there and fist fight Jordan Williams. I do think he gets the finish. I think he submits Jordan Williams in the first round. I think it's going to be very reminiscent to what we saw in the Mickey Gall Jordan Williams fight. I think he's going to drop him, hurt him. Williams is a pretty durable guy when it comes to the strikes, but I think he'll let his guard down and get submitted.
I think Gary will win, but I don't think we'll take too much out of this other than, okay, he got a win in the UFC. That's about it. I mean,
I think Dana White's talking about him at the post-fight presser. I think Dana White is going to be talking about him.
Well, someone's going to ask him, what do you think? He'll be like, kid looks good. Kid looks good. That's
it. That's
it. Dana White won't know anything about him. He's like, we want to go everywhere. We're going as soon as we can. We're going back to UK. There's the same thing. All right.
So jaded.
Not jaded. I'm being honest, man.
With a win, Phil Hawes would be on a 4-fight win streak. Is he a future top 10? I mean, AK, we've been saying this for a long time that Phil Hawes is could be a top 10 guy, but will he finally reach that top 10 potential if he gets a win over the newcomer Chris Curtis tonight?
Yeah, it's like we said, the top 10's in flux, man. I mean, it looks like there might be a spot opening if Paulo Costa can't go back down to 185. So there you go. There's one spot open. Calvin Gastelum, God bless him. He keeps losing to tough competition. So I think he's like, I think for some people, is hanging onto a spot. He might already be outside the top 10. I don't know if a win over Chris Curtis is what does it. Certainly, he won't be top 10 after this, but future. I mean, it would probably be one more win after Chris Curtis. Again, he actually has to face someone in the top 10, top 15, and I wouldn't be surprised to see any of us ranking Phil in our MMA fighting global rankings, the December edition. So look forward to that. But not top 10 yet, but he's going to get some votes. If he has a good win against Chris Curtis, he's going to get some votes.
I think if
he wins, God.
Oh, I think Phil Hawes absolutely is a top 10 fighter. He just doesn't have the opponents in front of him yet. Chris Curtis isn't that opponent, so no matter what he does tonight, he won't be top 10 just because you have to have the right opponent to prove that you're a top 10 fighter. If you go back to the beginning of the year, we asked, who do you think the breakout fighter for 2021 would be? I actually said Phil Hawes, but he just has had enough fights, unfortunately, kind of to make my prediction come true. But I think he's going to look great tonight.
I think you can. Sorry, Mike. I just want to say quickly. I do think you can improve your standings a little bit if you dispatch of supposedly inferior, which is that's a terrible word to use for Chris Curtis, but like you said, guys that that are well below him in the rankings. If you dispose of them very quickly, I think that makes a statement as well. I think that goes like, okay, well, clearly this guy is beyond, a certain tier of opponents. So I think there is a difference between if he wins by like a convincing decision and if he wins by like 45-second knockout. Again, I'm not saying it launches him. Any result can launch him into the top 10, but it can certainly change the perception and have people going like, man, this guy should be fighting top 10 guys. He smoked Chris Curtis, or if he had smoked Imavov, which he didn't. But if he had, it would be a different conversation. So I think you're right. Beating good opponents, obviously the quickest way to rise up. But super like highlight reel performance is also really helpful, I think.
The Dawkins win was really impressive. It was a complete performance from start to finish. He didn't gas. Those are the big questions we had. And those are questions some bettors have that I've been seeing on Twitter. A lot of people are taking the Chris Curtis 3rd round knockout prop at like plus 260, or it's a pretty big line, or maybe it's higher than that. I think maybe it's even higher than that. Like a big line. Maybe it's like plus 2,600 or something like that. It was a super ridiculous line, but kind of tempting if you feel like Phil Hawes can fade away in this fight. And I felt like he made improvements there. And don't forget, that fight was less than 3 months after the Imavov fight, and he was able to build himself up and fight 15 hard minutes. So, yeah, I think I like Chris Curtis a lot. I'm glad he's in the UFC. I think his home is at 170. I think that's where he stays. I know it's sometimes a tough cut for him, but I think he'll have the most success there. Phil Hawes is a monster. I think Chris Curtis is in for a rough night. So I think with the win here, you get on that microphone, you call Kelvin Gastelum, and you go home. That's the path.
Cool. This is a question we get a lot of people have been asking, so here we go.
How many cheese do you think Francis Ngannou could eat in one sitting? Oh man, a lot of people are asking that question.
I would love to know the Francis Ngannou diet. If anyone has seen like the Rock diet, the Rock diet is the one people probably talk about the most, maybe because I don't know, he published it or something. But like the Rock has like 3 different diets depending on whether he's working on a movie or he's like just casual Rock diet, and it's just like the most. It goes from 5 meals to like 9 meals, and I always wonder.
Answer the question.
You can't, because this is not a specific, like it's a very broad question.
You're talking like chicken wings, like chicken, like if you sat down.
Exactly. What does it even mean? What is
that? Whole chicken, feathers and all.
Just like Serrano style, like Major League.
I have
no.
Yeah, Major League reference.
I would love to know what his diet. I would love to know what you have to eat to even come close to having the size of Francis Ngannou.
Okay, I think this.
Well, there's 3 full chicken. How is this happening right now?
I mean, at least.
How are these the questions?
I mean, I know there's a lot to talk. I know this card is there's a lot of things to talk about in this card, but this is the topics we cover in the pre-fight thing.
I mean, this is the people's pre-fight show, you know?
He's setting someone said over under 3.5. Over.
Oh God, yeah. If he really applied himself.
All right.
What else we got? That's not chicken.
By the way, I'm running a poll currently for Usman Covington main event, so people please vote. It was 68% for Gaethje over Chandler, and it was 62%, excuse me, Namajunas over Zhang. So
the kid
right
from
now,
Heck chiming in.
So generally,
right.
2 out of 3.
Any non-chicken questions?
Rotisserie chickens, several.
A lot of some. Okay, no more Hasbulla stuff.
That's so last week.
This is a good card.
Come on, guys. That's so last week.
Yeah, man.
No love for Shane Burgos. But no love for Shane Burgos, Billy Q. What's going on here? That fight rocks. We haven't talked about the co-main event at all. Not one main event question yet.
No, these questions are all over the place.
Yeah. Am I missing them? I'm looking for the questions.
I see.
The only
I see one from
fight
Thomas,
on the main
Thomas
card
Weimer.
we've gotten a question about was Edgar.
All right, I got one.
That's it.
Thomas Weimer. What are the chances that Nate Diaz fights the winner of the Usman Covington bout?
Oh man, I want to say 0
winner?
so bad, but it can't be 0.
Winner.
The winner.
It can't be 0.
No, I mean the loser. No way, the winner.
No way, the winner.
Are you watching the UFC?
Yeah, no.
They're gonna get Nate a title fight next. Is that what they're saying?
Hey, listen.
Wait, what are the chances? Is Nate getting a title fight his next fight? That's what the question is.
What if though?
Would it be shocking?
Let's go to the loser. Like the question makes more sense.
But what if he got the winner though? Okay, it's actually not like it's insane and absurd, but I don't know. It does feel like something that they would just do. Especially if like Covington, let's say he wins and said, I'm not. There's no trilogy. No trilogy. I won fair and square. I won the, last time he won because of Mark Goddard. I won the real fight between us fair and square. There will not be a trilogy. I will not fight Usman again. Obviously, he will end up fighting him again, but that's sort of like his post-fight bluster. And then says, I want the real names out. I want the big money names. I want people who can help. I'm tired of carrying the pay-per-view sales. I want someone who can help me sell pay-per-views. Give me Nate Diaz.
He's gonna compliment Nate.
I mean, eventually he'll start calling him like a prostitute or something. But yes, it'll start off as like I want someone who can help me sell and who's a big name. I'm just entertaining Thomas's question here. I'm not saying this will happen.
Well, the chances are zero. Chances are zero.
The chances are not zero.
The final fight on Nate's contract, they will give him a title fight against coming off a loss.
Listen, there's no zero chance of anything in MMA.
Man, I crap on
there's
the
a
UFC matchmakers all the time.
Clause. There's a championship. If he wins the belts, he can't go anywhere. Ask Francis Ngannou about that. He's the champion. He can't go anywhere. You know, he doesn't like his deal.
I once thought there was a 0 chance Conor McGregor would ever fight Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. I'm serious. When that talks first came out, I said 0 chance. I said there's no way. It's not happening.
Why would there be 0 chance for that? That made no sense at the time.
It made me mad.
This makes way less sense. Nate Diaz, he just lost, right, to Leon Edwards, right? I'm thinking the same Nate Diaz. I'm not thinking of someone else, right?
I'm saying I think this is more likely than when the McGregor
fight for the title
talks when they first started happening. There's no 0%.
Here we go.
There's no 0% in MMA.
Okay.
There's no such thing.
I will say they're slim. Hold on. I will say they're slim. Leon beats Masvidal, doesn't matter. But if Jorge Masvidal goes out and knocks out Leon Edwards next month, who else is Kamaru going to fight at this point? It's just big money fights at this point. Like, it's either throw him Diaz. I mean, Luque, sure, maybe. Luque will probably have to get another win. Like, I don't know why they haven't booked Diaz versus Luque yet. Both guys want the freaking fight. Why haven't they made it? Which leaves, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, both guys have campaigned and both have said they want that fight, and the UFC hasn't made it yet. So maybe, I don't know. And even if Masvidal knocks Edwards out, I say it's a 15% chance. That's as good as it gets. But I'm not saying 0. No chance I'll say 0 when it comes to Nate.
Oh, I say a big fat 0 if Nate Diaz is getting a title shot his next fight.
Oh, listen.
You've seen Stranger Things. You've seen Stranger Things.
Name a stranger
You've been
title
following combat
fight.
sports for longer than me. I think Stranger Things than this.
Nate Diaz, name a stranger title fight. Nate Diaz coming off a loss over and getting a title fight over facing either Usman or Covington. I'm
standing by my Mayweather McGregor thing. When that fight first came up, I would have said no chance. When it first came up, the very first, I said no way. Hell no, that's not happening.
Here's the deal. If all goes according to plan here, if Usman goes out there and retains the title, at this point, with what is available, unless GSP comes back, the two biggest fights Kamaru Usman could have right now are Nate Diaz and Khamzat Chimaev. Like, those are the two biggest fights he can have. He's not going up to 85 to fight Adesanya as long as he's the champion because they're buddies and they've already said they're not going to do that. Like, who else is there? Leon Edwards, like, you can make the fight. He would deserve it, but no one's going to buy it. No one's going to buy it, but everybody's going to buy the Diaz one, and everybody will buy the Chimaev fight. And the UFC doesn't care about deserves. We've been talking about this for 5 years now.
This one is just ridiculous, though. This one,
it is ridiculous, but it would sell
way beyond ridiculous.
100%.
It would sell a million pay-per-views.
I
know it's silly.
There's no 0% in MMA.
This will be
the
most
0% in combat.
This is all right.
Usman Nate Diaz would sell a million pay-per-views. It would sell a million. Usman Edwards sells 400,000.
Put this out on Twitter. Say, hey guys, Nate Diaz is facing the winner tonight. Well, as soon as the main event's over, let's talk about Nate Diaz needs to face that winner.
Whoa.
Dude, people will rip it to shreds until 3 days before the fight, and then they'll buy it. It's just the way that it is.
Oh, they'll buy it, of course. People buy.
That's what the UFC cares about. They don't care about meritocracy. They want money. That fight's way more money than anything else available for Nate right now.
We've talked ourselves into it. Now this is some on-time material.
I'm farther away from it. I'm farther away from it. I'm way farther away from it.
You're looking at it from a purist point of view. Which
I'm not
great,
looking from a purist point of view. Like, this is it won't even be good business for the UFC. They can't. Now Conor McGregor getting a title fight against Usman or Covington, I could see that over Nate Diaz for sure.
That makes less sense at this point.
Connor does
bolted by
much better
Dustin
business.
Poirier twice. No, I mean
Nate Diaz doing. Can you imagine? The UFC would do everything to make sure that Nate Diaz does never have a belt. How much control he would have over that? Yeah, he would just hold out.
Gentlemen.
Oh man,
Let's do it.
Their belts. He would control nothing. They control. They can do whatever they want with the belts. He controls nothing.
In the UFC. That's like the best way to control him.
They're going to give.
He's not He could.
I will say this: the UFC has all the power just to strip Usman coming down at any moment and just give the belt to Nate Diaz. There's literally no rules for who has the belt.
There's no rules. Exactly.
Exactly.
By the way, prelims have not started yet.
Keep going.
Stick around with us, please. Yeah, keep going. Prelims. We have not had people walking out yet. I closed the poll, the last poll.
What the hell is this?
60% picking. Okay. Yo, Galactus has spoken. You a casual, bro.
How do you even? How do you even make those little squiggly lines with your keyboard? That's amazing.
I don't know. It's pretty sick.
Where's that button? That key is not on my keyboard. I don't see that.
You've only been watching MMA for like 3 or 4 years, I think, right? Like you're not known as someone who's been covering MMA for a long time, or no. But I was gonna say, guys, sorry. So all the polls have been tabulated. Usman 63%. I think Rose is about the same, 63%, and Gaethje 68%. So not really overwhelming. None of our YouTube commenters were like overwhelmingly, oh well, the favorite's gonna win. So out there, a lot of doubt in these 3 fights. So that's kind of fun to see.
Do you think Dana secretly wants Colby to win so they could set up Colby versus Masvidal? I don't think he. Tough sucks. Tough sucks.
It lost me. I thought it was a title fight. Then it was tough. I'm like, everything is for tough.
Like I appreciate all the fighters who compete. It's a great opportunity for them. Tremendous. But the show sucks. It sucks. Go listen to my interview with Andre Petrosky. Without actually saying the show sucks, he says the show sucks. Like they did a terrible job of putting. Like they left all the fun stuff out. Mm-hmm. They left the fun stuff out of the show. Like, come on, you got to do better. Colby versus Masvidal. Like I can't deal with that for a whole season. I just can't.
Let me put it this way.
The fight's going to happen anyways. No matter what happens, tonight, Colby's fighting Masvidal next, in my opinion.
Dana isn't secretly wanting anything for the sake of tough. Like he loves tough, but he can fill that with whatever. Like tough is, I think, is so far down the UFC's list of like planning. Like, oh, how do we set up coaches for tough? Or we hope we get this guy in tough. No, they don't care. Dana loves the show. He definitely loves the show. He's standing by the show forever. But they are not, again, trying to engineer anything to set up coaches or get certain fighters on the show. I would love it. I'm still one of the only people who watches the show. But as Mike said, as someone who watched every episode of the latest season, I can tell you can tell it's just not a high priority project for the UFC right now.
What else we got?
I'm so interested who Colby is going to fight next after he gets knocked out tonight. I'm very interested.
He's going to fight Masvidal.
I don't think so.
That fight is there.
I don't think so.
Because Masvidal's probably going to lose to Leon, and then you still do Colby Masvidal. It's a massive fight. You got to do it.
I'm gonna really push hard for Hamzat versus Colby after Colby loses tonight.
Colby's not gonna take that fight. Why would he take that fight? Why would anybody take that fight right now? I mean, if Usman just wants it, just like if Usman just wants to call him, fight him, he'll get it.
He had a very vulgar name. Colby said some very untrue statements about a certain virus that's going over the world right now. So yeah, I think
there's bad blood there, certainly. Guys, I think we have our first fighters coming out now: CJ Vergara and Ode Osborne. So
let's do our last little picks.
Do it.
All right, let's pull them up. Let me pull mine up.
Hold
on 1 second.
Yep, this is. Let's make it official.
Where's our?
I got mine. Okay, there we go. I got mine right here.
Let me scroll mine up. There we go. All right, main card: Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje, AK.
Gaethje knockout round 2.
Casey.
In a barn burner, Gaethje round 2 knockout.
Chandler round 1 KO. Shane Burgos versus Billy Quarantillo, Casey.
Burgos KO round 2 and fight of the night.
I got Burgos decision, fight of the night. AK.
KO for Burgos round 3, fight of the night.
Oh, poor Billy Q.
Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera. I will go Frankie Edgar decision. AK.
Edgar decision.
Edgar decision.
For the strawweight title, Rose Namajunas defends against Zhang Wei Li. Casey.
Zhang Wei Li, decision victory.
Woo.
Samesies. Zhang Wei Li decision. AK?
Namajunas decision. Shades of Rose Joanna 2.
All right. Finally, for the UFC Welterweight Championship, Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. AK, lead us off.
Usman by knockout in the 3rd.
Casey, I already kind of said it, but
Kamaru Usman, one-way traffic, knockout, round 2.
I think this fight will be tremendous. It'll be a tremendous in a different way than the first fight. I think Colby's going to show up much more improved, but I think Usman is just better, slightly better than Colby everywhere. With that, I think we're still going to go to the 5th round with questions about how this thing's being scored. And Usman will do enough to get the win. So could be a split decision. It's going to be a real close fight, but I got Usman leaving MSG with the title. So, and we'll find out who will be stepping up to the stage to discuss their championship victories, because we will be live at the post-fight press conference. So join myself, Casey, Jose is there. He'll be streaming it. And then from what I understand, Jose Youngs is working on a very special guest for the post-fight show. So stay tuned for that. So lots of stuff coming up. Get ready. Enjoy the fight. CJ Vergara versus Ode Osborne about to kick off right now. That fight's going to be a banger. Enjoy the fights. We'll see you later on tonight.
Happy birthday, AK.
It's not my birthday.
Really?
Like Beltran.
Never is.
Interesting.